Hey guys, remember telling you guys I was going to be gone today. We are going to do some review over factoring quadratics, and then at the end I'm going to be introducing the last part for factoring quadratics, with the exception of one special case that we're going to look at on Monday. So, Sub, please pause the video and give the students time to get out a piece of paper and get ready to do some review problems. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here at this first one. I'm going to have you guys try to do this on your own. I will be going over these. So please pause the video and give the students 3 minutes to complete this problem. All right, let's go ahead and look at how to factor this particular one. Now, step one, we haven't seen any of these that do this yet, but you always check. Is there anything I can divide evenly into all three, A, B, and C? And there's nothing there. Okay, so I need to go ahead and set up my X. Okay, so remember, A times C goes on the top. That'd be positive 15. The B value goes on the bottom. That'd be negative 8. I'm looking for those two numbers that multiply to be 15 and add up to be negative 8. If you can't think of them, remember to start with 1 in the number. So I'd start with negative 1 times negative 15. Now I'm choosing two negative numbers because it needs to multiply to be positive, which it does, but it also needs to add up to be negative. That doesn't work. That adds up to be negative 16. 15 divided by 2 is a decimal. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Make them both negative, and I have my two numbers. Okay? Now, we're going to start off by writing our preliminary two binomials. So we look at this. Remember, starting off, this would be 1x, and use one of your magic numbers, minus 3. And I have another 1x, and this would be minus 5. And then we're going to be checking this, okay, for our landing. Okay? Now, with this one, neither of these have anything to divide out, or in essence, what we said before is the only thing we can divide out is a 1. Okay, so we have our answer. X minus 3, X minus 5. Those two binomials multiply to give me that quadratic, and this would be my factored answer. Okay, so please pause the video and give the students 3 minutes to complete this problem. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. For our x, multiplies to be negative 30, adds up to be negative 13. So I need one positive and one negative number. The two magic numbers happen to be 2 and negative 15. Okay, 2 times negative 15 is negative 30, and 2 plus negative 15 is negative 13. Now remember, we write out our preliminary. We're going to use 5x in the front, and then we have our magic numbers, positive 2 and negative 15. And notice, don't freak out, we are making it 5x for a reason, but if we remember what we said the other day, 5x times 5x, that doesn't quite make that right yet, but it does give me an x squared. Okay, so I need to do my landing. So I'm going to check. 5x and 2, nothing I can divide out, so that's 1. 5 and 15 I can divide out of 5. Remember, these two division numbers need to end up multiplying to be that a value. That's how it should end up working out. 1 times 5 is 5, so I have it set up right. And let's write our final answers. 5x plus 2 times x minus 3. And these two binomials that multiply to give me that quadratic. Okay, that'd be my factored answer. One more here. So please pause the video and give the students 3 minutes to factor this problem. Again, magic numbers. Okay, I'm starting with magic numbers because there's nothing I could divide out. 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. Adds up to be 5. And I'm looking for those magic numbers. So I'd be sitting there. One of them needs to be negative. Negative 1 and 36. That adds up to be 35. 36 divided by 2 is 18. That adds up to be 16. 36 divided by 3 is 12. That adds up to be 9. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. Negative 4 plus 9 is positive 5. So I have them. Okay, now let's go ahead and start our preliminary problem. And we're going to start off with 6x. So we have 6x at the beginning. And I have my two magic numbers, minus 4 and plus 9. And now we're going in for the landing. See, divide by 2, divide by 3. And remember, these two numbers that I'm dividing by should end up multiplying to be my a value if I did things right. Okay, so let's go ahead and divide this out, and that gives us our factored binomials would be 3x minus 2 and 2x plus 3. And this should work. If I multiplied this out, I should end up getting that quadratic. Okay. All right. What I'm going to need here, I'm going to have the answers up here for you, but guys, I'm going to leave this up to the sub. We pause this and leave this up here, but what I don't need is for you guys just go through and start copying down answers. Don't do that. Okay. I'm give you guys 30 minutes, and I want you to do this practice. So sub, please pass out the worksheet and give the students 30 minutes to work on this worksheet. Okay. All right, 30 minutes should be up, and we're going to go ahead and go on. And I'm going to introduce, okay, the last part, okay, of factoring, really that extra step that we have for factoring. Okay, and this is involved when there is something to do with step one. Thus far, every single problem that we've done, there has not been anything to divide out at the very beginning. And if we forget to do that part, we are going to end up with the wrong factored binomials. So we got to always double check here, and we're going to start to see this in there. But I look at my original problem. 4a squared plus 20a plus 24. The first thing I need to do is check, is there anything I can divide evenly into all three of those, a, b, and c? And if I look at those, I can divide that whole thing by 4. Okay, all three of these I can divide by 4 without end up having any decimals involved. So what happens if I'm dividing by 4 in that first step, this 4 needs to be accounted for in my answer. So I'm going to go ahead and down here, I'm going to put the spot where I'm going to write my answer, the 4, and I'm going to put my two binomials, my two parentheses, and this quadratic is going to change. Okay? When I divide them all by 4, I'm going to have a new quadratic. It's going to be a squared plus 5a plus 6. This is no longer needed. Okay? I already took my 4 down. Please make sure you don't forget that. It used to drive me crazy when I used to do these. And now, we're going to do our problem with our new quadratic. 1 times 6 is 6, adds up to be 5. And my magic numbers are going to end up being 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. Just like we had done before. Remember, we're going to have 1a, 1a. And I like it when it's a 1 because I know there's not going to be anything to divide out besides 1. That'd be 1a plus 2, 1a plus 3. And we go in for our landing. You end up dividing out the 1s, and we get our answer. Please make sure you don't forget the 4. And a lot of times you'll see them just write a instead of 1a. And that would be our final answer. Again, the most common thing that people do is they forget to write this 4 in that they factored out at the very beginning of the problem. You've got to make sure you do that. Okay? Let's look at another one here. Okay, again, this is going to have something to divide out. Okay, for this particular one, got 6x squared plus 10x plus 4. And you check, is there anything I can divide out? And this one, I can divide out a 2. So I know I better put 2 down here where I'm going to write my answer. I'm just telling you, if you forget to do that, Okay, it's going to suck, but I can't count it correct. It's not the perfect factored form. Okay, you're missing something. And let's rewrite this. I now have 3x squared, positive 5x, and positive 2. Okay, now I'm ready for my x. A times c, that's 6. Put my b down, that's 5. And I'm going to write it out. See, this is going to be, for this particular one, my magic numbers are 2 and 3. Okay, so remember I write out my preliminary part. I haven't landed yet. So this is not the final answer yet. So I have 3x plus 2 and 3x plus 3. We need to go in for the landing. So I check. Divide out 1. Check. I can divide out a 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Because remember, we're looking at our new quadratic, not our old one. 1 times 3 is 3. That seems to be correct, so I have my answer. Be 3x plus 2. My other binomial, remember you divide out the 3, that's going to be x plus 1. Again, please don't forget the 2. It's always frustrating when I have to mark those wrong on you guys. All right, one more together here. Okay, we have the quadratic. 16r squared plus 32r minus 20. So let's sit here and think for a second. Okay, so what can I divide out evenly into all three of these, of the a, b, and the c value? And in all three of these, I'm gonna have too small of a number here for you, but I just want you to see that this could happen. I'm gonna divide out a 2. Now I know that gives me 8r squared plus 16r minus 10. And if I look at that, if you look at this, I actually still have more to divide out. I mean, I could still divide out another 2. So understand, you want to try to pick the biggest number. However, I could still get this answer. Okay? I would have started off, instead of dividing by 2 twice, if you divide by 4 the first time, it's going to be a little bit easier. So here I go. The 4, do not forget it in your answer. Okay? It's not the landing. That's part of the answer. Okay? Need to write my new quadratic. So I would have 4r squared plus 8r minus 5 multiplies to be negative 20, adds up to be 8, and my two magic numbers for this one would be negative 2 and 10. Negative 2 times 10 is negative 20, negative 2 plus 10 is 8. Okay, so I write out my preliminary answer. So it would be 4r minus 2 and 4r plus 10. I'm not finished yet. Okay, not finished yet. I got to come in for the landing. So my wheels. This one I can divide by 2. This one I can divide by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Remember, that's out of the picture. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4. It does match up with that a value. Okay, I just need to write my answer now. So let's see, that would be 2r minus 1 and 2r plus 5. And this would be the factored form for that particular quadratic. Okay, now, to finish up class here, I'm sub to give you, so hopefully if we have time, give them 15 minutes. If we're running short on time, you can only give them 10, but I want you to go ahead and pause the video and have them complete these 4 problems. All right, here are our answers. Go ahead and check those, and then we will actually come back on Monday. Guys, don't stress out if this isn't making perfect sense. Monday we will continue going over this, and I do need to show you a special case. So we're not ready for the power assignment yet. Okay, it'll probably be on Wednesday. Okay, but I wanted to make sure we introduce this today. All right, you guys have a good weekend, and we will see you on Monday.